Type a question into ChatGPT for a problem that your business aims to solve and watch what happens. Now, here's the question. Is your tool on the list? Because if you're not on the list, you literally don't exist to your customers. They're asking buyer intent questions right now, and ChatGPT is recommending your competitors while completely ignoring you. So this isn't traditional SEO anymore. You can have perfect Google rankings, thousands of backlinks, perfect content, and still be completely invisible on ChatGPT. So in this video, I'm going to show you what the new measurements of SEO are, how to measure where you're appearing in ChatGPT, and what to do about your visibility. Here's what's happening in SEO right now. So ChatGPT might be citing your website for research purposes to get information about a certain topic, but is it actually recommending your product or tool to the right users? Let's take the example how to do keyword research. ChatGPT might be taking information from your website, but is it actually showing your tool when someone asks, what is the best keyword research tool? Because that's what actually matters for your business. And I've seen this myself on my own websites. I have hundreds of thousands of impressions on Google, but I'm not getting the clicks like I used to. Think about it like this. Imagine you wrote the definitive textbook on coffee brewing. AI platforms can read your book, they can call it, reference your expertise, but when someone asks, where should I buy coffee beans, they recommend Blue Bottle. Not you. You're educating the market while competitors are capturing the revenue. And here's the other problem that's just started in the last couple of years. Rankings of AI tools are not stable. With Google, if you rank number 3 for a keyword on Monday, you might still be there by Friday. But with ChatGPT, a study shows that 40 to 60% of the sources mentioned in AI responses change every single month. So what can we do about this? Traditional rankings tools just aren't going to cut it anymore, because you might be position 1 in Google one day, and then the next week you're position 100, and then you can't even check anymore to see where you are after position 10. So these are the two metrics that you can use to check your AI influence. The first one is visibility. So this is either yes or no. Are you appearing when someone is asking a buyer intent question? If the answer is no, then you have zero visibility for that query. The second metric is your share of voice. Like, when you do get mentioned, where do you appear on the list? So that's why listicles have been a super popular way of making content the last year or so, because you're just feeding that training data into ChatGPT. You're saying, my company is number 1, and I always recommend that you put yourself number 1, because the LLMs are going to read that list of, best AI SEO tools. Number 1 is your tool, and you put yourself there and you will appear number 1 in ChatGPT. And you want to spread that around the whole internet, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Now, here's the critical insight that most people miss. You need to track bottom of funnel keywords, not generic queries. So it's just a waste of time now to track keywords, educational keywords, like what is SEO, for example. So you need to track specific buyer intent keywords. So this could be the question that triggers the listicle, like what are the best AI SEO tools? It could be a comparison where you compare brand A and brand B, or it could be also an alternatives list. That's another good bottom of funnel keyword. So if you have a competitor and people are looking for an alternative, then that's a good type of article to write. All right, so now we know what to measure. Let's talk about how to actually track this. Right, so to check all of our visibility and how our website is doing, we're going to be using Semrush to do this, right? And this is their new visibility tool. You can see these tools are all new here. So there's prompt research, visibility overview, and your brand performance. So you can check all of these things that we're talking about here and do a site audit and prompt tracking. But first thing you can do is actually just enter your domain to see how your AI visibility is getting on. Okay, so I know Semrush have been working on their own domain for this, so I think it'd be cool to check out what they're up to now and see their AI visibility. Okay, so they have a score here of 84 out of 100, so they're frequently mentioned and often preferred by LLMs. So here you can check the platform. So if you want to check ChatGPT, how they're getting on there. And I just put in a question, what are the best AI tools for SEO? And you can see that Semrush, this exact tool actually came up as number one. So you can see that they've been working hard on this, and that's quite interesting to see. You can see the mentions here and the cited pages that they have. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into their strategy now in a minute too. So you can see the topics here that Semrush are appearing for and the prompts. This is all in ChatGPT, and then you can find topic opportunities. So imagine for your business as well, you can find some opportunities where competitors are mentioned and then your brand is missing. So the cool thing about this also is that you can create content based on the topic. So you can be like, oh, that's a pretty cool prompt, and then create content straight away from their content tool, right? So you can get that as well. I think there are different prices, so you have to check about that. But yeah, that's really cool. Or you can monitor those prompts to track them in the as well. That's a really interesting feature as well. So you can also do some competitor research. You can see here SEMrush gets a score of 84. Ahrefs, which is obviously a very big tool as well. So they have a score of 87. And then you can see, you can go down a bit deeper to figure out the topic. So in this case, they have YouTube and video streaming platforms. So here's the prompt. Are there any tips for optimizing my YouTube views for more views? And you can actually check the ChatGPT response here as well to see. So we also have the prompt research tool. So we can check out which prompts we should be trying to optimize for. So that's super important. So let's just do an example of AI SEO. So you get an AI volume and average topic difficulty. So basically what this is doing at the back end is like checking all these prompts for you and all the brands that are appearing on ChatGPT, etc. But one thing you can do is create your own prompt and your own keywords that you want to be creating content about. So I came up with this prompt, and you can get this in the description as well. I just made it onto a website, so you can just copy it for your own use whenever you want. So all you need to do is answer these different questions and then go to Claude and put it into there, and then you'll get 50 bottom of funnel search queries that will represent the buying intent. So it's all about buying intent. I hope you really understand that, because educational content is great for, you know, topical authority, getting started. But if you really want to make the most and get the most revenue, then you need to capture this demand of the buying intent. So all you need to do is change the product or service that you have here, say what it does, etc. Just change these things out. Your main competitors. You can delete this one if it's not relevant. The use cases, all of that, and then it will come out with 50 queries. I just did that earlier for my own business. And so what I got is all these questions that I can use either somewhere in my website, or I can just, you know, write these as blog posts. So what's the best AI content tool for generating programmatic SEO pages at scale? You can imagine someone asking that question, right? And then, you know, if you write an exact answer to that, and we'll talk about that now in a second, to write the exact query what ChatGPT and other AI, Google AI Mode, Perplexity, all that are looking for. So that's how you get prompts that you can now use in your prompt research and tracking. So you can also check out how your brand is performing, the share of voice. So that's, remember, like what position you are coming up in the different listicles. So listicles are just super important. So, and also about your favorable sentiment, if people are saying good things about you. So if you do want to track these prompts, then you can go to this position tracking. So if you do want to track these prompts, you can track them here in this section here. So just put in your website and fill in the information here, and then you can track the keywords, how they're getting on in different search engines like ChatGPT, etc. And then just paste in your prompts here and then start tracking. All right, so what can you do to make your content extractable by AI? Well, the first thing you can do is natural product injection. So like, try to just put it in sentences that your product answers the problem, right? It's part of the solution. Try to make it feel natural and not as an ad. Answer in the first sentence. So yeah, just try to be as simple and direct. AI doesn't want to read through a load of rubbish and stuff. It just wants like immediate direct answers. So put your main answer or conclusion right at the beginning. Use specific verifiable data. So obviously AI is going to just want numbers, statistics. That's been the case for SEO for a while. It's like, you just want to use that stuff that, you know, ChatGPT can grab and use it in its answers. You want to write literally, not creatively. Okay, unfortunately, we can't really be too creative with our metaphors and idioms now. You want to use natural language, NLP, natural language processing. And basically what that means is just to say, just get the right order of the words so that the AI can understand. So you don't want to be using things like the passive voice or something like that. It's just try to be as simple and direct as possible. Create targeted lists. Maybe this should be further up there, because this is like the most important SEO tactic right now. You can just structure, like, there's so many different listicles you can make. put yourself number one, and then you will appear number one in ChatGPT as well. And urgent content maintenance. Okay, so both Google and ChatGPT are going to be checking. They want the most up-to-date information. They don't want something you posted 3 or 5 years ago. Unfortunately, that's just the way of SEO now. Is you have to be constantly updating your dates, your statistics, your references. Everything must be up to date. So the next thing I'll just talk about briefly is about offsites. So you have your website, you have your social media, I hope, but you want to show this key phrase, and this is what I keep talking about when I talk about SEO. So you want to put your key phrase so that you repeat it over and over again. You don't want to change what you're selling or anything like that. You want to make something simple that AI can understand. So for example, you would say like Semrush is an AI SEO tool. So it's just like, it just shows brand, and it's like very simple, direct English and what it does. Okay, so you just want to put that in so many places. Like I'm talking like medium.com, LinkedIn, like X, whatever, Facebook, Instagram, any sort of website that you can publish this. It's not so much about backlinks anymore. It's more about like the AI. Just think about it. It's crawling the whole web trying to find information about your brand. And it wants to find like, what is the brand? What does it do? And then try to find other people mentioning your brand. And it could be on YouTube or any social media. And it's like, what are people saying? And so that's why you can see the sentiment analysis. Are people saying good things about it? Because ChatGPT is an AI. It does not understand whether something is a good product or a bad product. All it has to do, all it has to go on, for example, is what people are saying about it, what the reviews are saying about them. So we don't want to be too manipulative about this, but we do want to try to get good reviews, right? Because that's going to just feed the AI with all this stuff about our brand. And there's some amount of it is within our control, so we can just use these other sites. Sometimes people call it parasite SEO, and it's just become a massive thing because, that's what Google and other search engines are looking around the internet to find more information about your brand. So that's it. I hope you understand a little bit more about AI visibility. Who this really is for an established brand. All right, if you're only getting started, I think it's best just to get going with your blog. Try to create topical authority within your niche, right? So create 50 to 100 blog posts all about your topic, why you are solving, what you're solving, and who for, right? So you just want to talk about all that stuff over and over again, so you can kind of create this info that the AI can take about your website. But if you're already there and you're entering into competitive SEO, I always think of that as a good way to think about SEO. There's competitive SEO where there's tons and tons of brands. I mean, this is right for business as well. They call it the red ocean or the blue ocean. If you're in the blue ocean, it's not as difficult, right? You just want to find low competition keywords. But if you're in a competitive space, then you want to track all this stuff to try to figure out how you can get more mentions in ChatGPT and other search and other AI tools. So here's what you can do right now. You can check out the tool SEMrush, get that list of 50 prompts that we looked at earlier, and start tracking them in SEMrush. Do this visibility search and check it out. See how you're doing. See where you can improve and create more content, and try to add that information into your website wherever you can. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. I have tons of videos about AI, SEO, and vibe coding on this channel. So subscribe to the channel if you want more like this. Thanks for watching.